Welcome to the 24th episode of the Nordic Sports News Podcast, the world's first daily cross-country ski and biathlon podcast with the latest news from around the globe. We start our news with the cancellation of today's Beitostølen sprints. Due to the very strong winds expected throughout the morning, the organizers have chosen not to take any risks. The rumor had already circulated throughout the day on Thursday, but it became official early this morning. With wind speed between 19 and 30 meters per second, no one wanted to take unnecessary risks, and that is understandable. It's a shame, we had no choice anyway. Now I will have to analyze last year's results sheets and everyone's form to complete my selection for Ruka, said Norwegian coach Arild Monsen. The excellent Sivert Wig, who was a candidate, regretted this cancellation. For us it's one less chance to show up and get a place. We will wait until Galla's Norway Cup next weekend. On the other hand, the weather promises to be much better for all the races of the weekend. Now, we head to Sweden for the results of today's premier race. On the Swedish slopes of Gällivare, the cross-country skiers met during the first sprint of the season. Maja Dahlqvist and Jonna Sundling did not have a good day, unlike Anna Dyvik and Johan Häggström. If Anna Dyvik won the sprint in Gällivare by a hair, beating her compatriot Johanna Häggström, Maja Dahlqvist and Jonna Sundling have not had a good day. The first was indeed disqualified after hindering Moa Lundgren in the semifinal during a climb. Disappointed, Lundgren appeared distraught on arrival and delivered herself, in tears, to the microphone of the SVT Sport. Disappointment is also very present in Jonna Sundling, victim of a heavy fall during her quarterfinal and who was hospitalized directly after her race. In shock and very sad, she hopes that the pain in her thumb will not be serious for the rest of her season. Despite the course mistakes, these results should give good indications of the fitness of the cross-country skiers before the first stage of the World Cup scheduled for next weekend in Ruka. Switzerland, with Nadine Fiendrich fourth behind Linn Soemsker, notably shown. As a reminder, Therese Johaug and her Norwegian compatriot saw the sprint in Beitostølen cancelled today due to strong gusts of wind. For the men, the finals were played in a pocket handkerchief from start to finish. Unfortunately, the big favorite and winner of the qualifications, Anton Persson, crashed heavily and finished last in the final. Note the very good result of the American Kevin Bolger, who finished second thanks to a masterful final straight. The Swede Marcus Grate was third while Johan Häggström won. Now, let's check some biathlon news. The Swiss Ski has unveiled a list of 10 athletes to start the Biathlon World Cup in a few days in Sweden. Women's team: Amy Bazerga, Ida Gasparin, Elisa Gasparin, Selina Gasparin, and Lena Häcki. Men's team: Joscha Berghalter, Jeremy Finello, Nicholas Hartwig, Sebastian Stalder, and Benjamin Wieger. Now, let's check the Canadian biathlon team for Östersund, Hochfilzen and Le Grand Bornand. After the selections in Canmore a few days ago, Biathlon Canada announced the list of its national team for the first 4 weeks of the World Cup. If Emma Linder, Scott and Christian Gow were assured of their places, Trevor Kears and Jules Bernat won their tickets in the races in Alberta. For the women, Sarah Baudry, Benita Pfeiffer and Nadia Moser will join Lunder on the international circuit in Östersund, Hochfilzen and Le Grand Bornand. In the IBU Cup, we will find Daria Seppinge, Gillian Gowling, Jenna Sherrington, Megan Banks, Adam Runnels, Aidan Miller, Matthew Strum as well as Zachary Connolly. Now, to wrap up our news today, we have a question: can we have sandstorms at the Olympic venues? This is not excluded because the facilities that will host the cross-country skiing and biathlon events are located on a high plateau, not far from the desert, said the former Swedish cross-country skier Björn Lind, winner of the Sprint World Cup in 2006. Once, when I was there, a huge sandstorm hit the tracks. A lot of the parameters are extreme on this site: the temperatures, the wind and the lack of precipitation, adds Lind, who divides his time between his native country and China, as he works as a consultant for a company in this region. If there is snow, it will be very dry and very hard. He adds. Comments validated by another former skier, Anders Högberg, also a connoisseur of the slopes and the snow present in this region located 180 kilometers from Beijing. I have already skied with this sand which colored the snow yellow and obviously it glides less well. I imagine that if a storm arrives during the Olympics, they will postpone the races, but be careful with waxing because this sand will remain part of it. I hope that all the teams have thought about this possible scenario. He concluded during an interview with the SVT. And that's all for today, folks. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channels on YouTube, Spotify and Instagram. Just type Nordic Sports News on these platforms and access our content. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow in the next episode. Information credits to Nordic Mag, Ski Nordic and SVT.